Hey y'all, Devin Harris here. Hope you're doing okay out there in YouTube land. I'm going to do a pedal review and demo today of this custom badass 78 Distortion by MXR. I'm using the Grandma caster. It's really an Esquire, but it's, had a lot of mods. So anyway, let's go ahead and get it onto this. So I'm using the Bugera T5 Infinium head. Go ahead and get a shot of that. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into this. It's a 5-watt tube amp, all Class A. So I got a nice, good little clean tone going. So I'm going to start with my setting. Now this thing is a little compressed. So it's kind of fizzly. It's an op-amp style distortion from what I understand. So here we go. Let's cut it on. Give it a little more headroom. So that is the neck pickup on the Telecaster. I like to use the neck pickup because usually they have the most characteristic, and you want to see just how much the pedal is accenting or taking away from that full tone. So here's my clean. Here's the dirty. Alright, now let's get into some more overdrive. It's hard to get a true overdrive out of it because it's kind of compressed and it wants you to push it into more of a distortion. Alright, go ahead and start cranking the gain. As you can see, it doesn't change that much till you get about to halfway, and that's because it's already kind of an op-amp distortion that's not really a true overdrive. So you can't quite get a mellow overdrive out of it, but you get a nice ringy, almost martially kind of sound. Switch to the neck. To the bridge. Alright, let's go ahead and mess with that tone some. It'll get really bright. Just go ahead and crank it all the way. Sounds like a rat when you do that to it. Gets that kind of a mid-range and treble boost. Alright, let's crank that tone back and drive that gain. Get the distortion all the way into the middle position. A little fizzly, which is not really my thing. It's kind of compressed and fizzly in the mids, but it's okay. The treble gets a little gain. They say it's supposed to emulate old late 70s stacks, like Marshalls, high watts kind of thing, but it's definitely more the gain channel or like a really driven plexi. fuzzy. Alright. On the right amp, I found if you use a battery and let the input kind of sag instead of using direct power, like I am right now, just a 9-volt, then you get a little more creaminess out of it, but it's still a little too direct to sound like an older Marshall. It's definitely more of a modern Marshall, like Plexi or newer. Alright, now let's mess with the crunch setting. So, as you're probably most familiar, most MXRs have some kind of a mod on them. So this goes to more, it's supposed to be like a crunch tone. Which to me just sounds like they take a little bit of the compression away and add a little bit more clean tone up under. Not a lot, but just a little. So you can get it to do more of an overdrive kind of thing. Okay, cut the distortion down, output up, and it's a little more like an overdrive. Just kind of drive it with the output instead of the distortion. As you can hear, I switched to that bridge. So definitely a little cleaner, a little easier to work with. Now let's drive the distortion just a little bit. Kind of a little Rage Against the Machine, kind of, I guess, sort of a sound. It didn't do too good with my Strat, though. The Strat was a little too clean for it. It made it a little fizzly.